I seen a sphinx breathing, standing next to heathens, devoured by seething locusts, ejected from the zenith. The body parts of God, Mother Earth received a penis, like Zeus to Venus, Osiris to Isis. When wired to polarities, you couldn't splice this. Original right knowledge, try to rewrite this. You're forced to speak in tongues, far and away your heritage from. Begin to absorb anything above and under the sun.
Man, this is crazy. This is crazy. The black woman is God. All right, let me speak on this. Let me speak on this real quick. I didn't want to, but I'm kind of being forced to. Now, people tell me all the time that I should make more videos, or they ask me when am I gonna make my next one. But this is the first time not making a video has come back to haunt me. Now, I meant to make this video months ago, but I kind of put it to the side because I didn't want to give the topic, like, I didn't really want to give it any airtime, because I didn't, you know, at the time I didn't think much was going to come of it. But at this point, the topic is just like mushrooms, big mushroom cloud of it now floating around, and I'm getting hit with it left, right, and center. See, the thing about it is, let me explain something real quick so you can kind of feel my pain on this. Now, I happen to have the #1 video about Kemet on all of YouTube. If you go to YouTube and you go to the search and you put in Kemet, I did a video called Kemetic Symbology 101, and that is, when you search Kemet on YouTube, that's the first video that comes up. So I get messages all the time, and it's usually from people who are kind of new to the science, so they're just punching in Kemet to try to learn more about it, and then my video comes up, and I'll get sent a message. Now, I usually get sent 2 types of messages about the black woman being God. It's either for some angry religious type, some Christian or something like that, and he'll say something like, black woman's God? You faggot ass Egyptology Afrocentric niggas, man. That's some gay shit, worshiping a woman, blah 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 blah. Now, those I don't really care about. But the other kind I get is like, you know, someone who's trying to broaden their horizons and actually learn about, you know, their indigenous religions, and they'll say something like, "Oh, brother, I'm learning about, you know, I just came from Christianity, and I'm learning about you know, ancient Egyptian religion. I think it's so amazing that our ancestors knew that the black woman was God. Thank you so much for your video." And those are the ones that when I read them, they kind of make me wince, because that is not at all what the video is saying. My Kemetic Symbology video doesn't say that at all. It doesn't say anything about the black woman being God. Now on YouTube, I'll see a lot of people saying that the black woman is God, like a lot of women saying it, you know, and then you'll see a lot of the brothers that will co-sign on it. And when I first saw it, I kind of did too. I never really commented on it, but I was sort of, you know, in my head I didn't really mind it. I sort of, you know, took it as a good thing. I thought it was sort of like a way of just showing appreciation to the black woman, who I think is probably the most underappreciated, undervalued, disrespected person on the face of the earth, probably. And so when I saw people saying that, I kind of took it as a positive. But then as I began to, you know, see more, it began to dawn on me that this was not what I thought it was. It wasn't just an appreciation of the black woman. It was actually more of an attack on the black man. It was actually a feminist thing, and well, actually, not even just a feminist thing. It's worse than that. It was this is not feminism. This is misandry. This is an actual hatred of men. These people they're not even just feminists. They're misandrists or misandrists, and when they say the black woman is God, they're actually saying that men are degenerate women. Like, everything started out as female, and men are degenerate women, and they're serious when they say it. They say something about the one of the chromosomes degenerates, and that's how you get a man and something like that, and that leads to a degenerate form of the woman, which is the man, and just things that just don't even just visibly make sense. Like when you look at what does degenerate mean? When something degenerates, that means it loses parts of itself. It deteriorates. It becomes weaker. When bones degenerate, they become thinner and brittle. They break more easy. That's what degenerate means. Now, when you look at a man and a woman, without even going into the biology, because obviously, if they can even believe this, they're not going to understand the biology. But just on a simplistic common sense level, how can you sit around and think that a man is a degenerate woman when a man he's bigger, he's taller, he's stronger, he has a higher logic function, his muscles are thicker and more durable, he can withstand more punishment? How can he possibly be a degenerate? How do you degenerate into something three times your strength and who is as smart or smarter than you? That's by definition that does not even make sense. That's not even close to a degeneration. You do not degenerate into something stronger. So I mean, right off the bat, something should click that this theory is a little bit off. But that's the whole thing. It's not based on any kind of logical reality. It's all just feminism and emotion or misandry. It's like even if you try to challenge them on it and ask them anything, they don't even try to answer your question. They'll just sort of avoid it and just go on. It's not based on facts. Like I've gotten into a couple of arguments with them on YouTube. These black women is God misandrists, and they'll show like the basis of their arguments. It's like pure feminism. And if anyone is familiar with feminism and what it has done to the black community, you know that back in the day always ends up to where the black woman turns against the man and basically sides turns against the black man and basically sides with the white man. And that's what happens here. Now they have, since it's not based in reality and it's basically based on attacking the black man, they actually to give a reason to turn against the black man, they have actually whipped up this apparently mythical set of events where the black man is now in league with the white man. There's a big giant conspiracy. He joined up with the white man to rob the black woman of power. And this is something that supposedly happened in Africa some unwritten time ago. And now whenever I ask them about the supposed occurrence, the supposed takeover and subjugation of the black woman by the black man, they always disappear. They never give me an answer. Just poof. Okay, I'll give an example of one. In the video, I'll show it. I asked one. This is just one of the many times I've asked the question and I've never gotten an answer. I'll just wait, and then a day will go by, a week will go by, a month will go by. They'll never respond whenever you ask them that question. It's just saying something in order to justify turning against this, creating this division between black man and white. It's like Willie Lynch all over again, except for they're actually going back 5,000 years before Willie Lynch would have existed. Were he a real person? It's the craziest thing, and it's not even. This is the bad thing about it. A lot of these people are supposed to be in the quote unquote conscious community, and a lot of them are Afrocentric, supposedly. And so they'll try to say that this black woman is God is a Kemetic thing. That's how it leads back to me, because they come from that video, my video, and they think I'm down with this black woman is God thing because it's Kemetic, and it's not Kemetic. That's the whole thing about it. Now, this is where it really gets crazy. The whole Kemet thing, the whole quote unquote Kemet connection. I was watching some videos a while back, and there was a guy on there. He wrote a book. He's like I guess he's one of the bigger figures in this Black Woman is God movement. Um, he wrote a book, and I'm trying to think of his name, but I can't think of it. But he wrote a book, and he's basically claiming that women, like it used to be back in the day, it was all women. Men didn't exist. Like in ancient Egypt, women didn't exist. And it was like this. He says this took place in the cosmic age, quote unquote cosmic age. It was all women. Men didn't exist. So I'm like, I'm listening to this. I'm saying, okay, cosmic age. I don't know when that is, so I don't say anything about it. If you want to deal with some unknown time period and say that everybody was all women, okay, whatever. But then he went like two or three steps too far. And then he was like, he moved it up. He was like, these pharaohs that we actually know of, like Akhenaten, and I think the other one he mentioned was Ramses. I'm not sure, but he was saying that these pharaohs were also women, and all the pharaohs we know of were actually women, and we're just told that they're men, but they were actually women. And then he said even further than that, and he said that all the gods were actually women too. All the male Neteru, they were actually women. Ra, Horus, Thoth. These people were all actually female gods or female goddesses. Now, that's when it goes too far because we actually know and have bones and pictures and images and writings of these people, so we know that they're not. We know that they were men. It's not cosmic age anymore where you can kind of make stuff up. Now you're dealing with real history. We know these people are not. These people are not female. So they have this crazy idea. They'll say something like, well, Egypt honored the great black mother. They knew that that God was a woman. It wasn't until later times the men came in, subjugated everything, and then turned the gods into females. Now that may sound crazy, but I'm not making this up. I even had one tell me that it was the Greek priest Manetho that genderized the gods and gave us these ideas of male gods, Ra being a male and things like that, and I asked her, I was like, where the hell are you getting that from? And of course, I didn't get an answer. And so that's basically the type of arguments I have with these people. Now, I've gotten in arguments with them, and they'll say something like, I'll tell them that Ra was the first king of Kemet, according to all the myths, and they'll say, well, Ra was a god, but Ra was not. He was not the first god. Ra was born. That before Ra created the world, he was born from the goddess Noon, who represented the primordial waters. So therefore, even if you take that God Ra as the creator, he still has a mother. So therefore, the black woman is still God. Noon. The thing about that is, it's so bizarre when they say this because of how wrong it is. Even if you're going to say that Ra was born from Noon, Noon is not a woman. Noon is a man. Noon is a male deity. Now, Noon is a man, but the primordial waters did have a female counterpart, was Nunet. But Noon was a man. We have pictures of Noon. He's a man with a beard, so he's clearly a male deity. And while there is a female counterpart to him called Nunet, I honestly can't even think of where I can't even think of ever seeing what she looks like. I can't think of ever seeing her depicted, but we know that she's there because we've seen her name, and she almost seems to only be there just to represent the Kemetic concept of balance. For every male part, there's a female part. So all the major gods have a goddess counterpart, and all the major goddesses have a god counterpart. And it does not matter how far back you go in creation, you're still going to run to that balance. There is no woman as a god, and there is no male as a god. All the major god concepts are always balanced. The creator is always going to be both male and female. Like I said in my Kemetic symbology video, Atum, he was called the Great He-She because in his role as creator, he was both male and female. He was not a man in his role as creator. He might have the god figures may have a male aspect, or they may be presented as male in their lower manifestations, but when they are playing their position as creator, they are both male and female. This goes for all the major gods. Ptah was both male and female. Aten was both male and female. There is no black woman as god. That is not Kemetic. They believe in balance. The god would be male and female. So when they say these things, and they talk about some patriarchal conspiracy when black men and white men teaming up, as crazy as that is, and getting rid of the goddess, the female god, and just adding in and editing in all these male figures, there's one major problem with that, a big problem, and you're looking at that problem right now, right there. That is exactly what it looks like. That is a penis. Now, even if you have convinced yourself to believe that they somehow went by and altered all of their writings to change the female goddesses into male goddesses, one thing you know they didn't do was go in and add these big stone dicks to all their images and all their statues. These carvings and statues and images, these are the originals. That's what they originally look like. Now, I don't know what part of town you're from, but around here, women don't grow giant penises. So that means that there must have been men around for the people who made these images to know what a giant penis looks like. That means they could not have been all women. Now, when I, again, of course, then you get no answer when you bring stuff like this up. Because like, I got so tired of them, they would start to direct me to other people when I asked them questions. So they started directing me to the guy who wrote that book. So I went to him and I asked him, like, how do you explain, what are you basing it on, that Ra and Horus and these guys are in a tomb and things like this, or gods like that? How do you, what are you using to justify or substantiate your claim that they were female? So I ask him the question. A month goes by, or a couple of days go by, whatever. He still doesn't respond. I give him a couple. I give him a couple more months. He doesn't respond because he was gone for a while. Still, he gets back, doesn't respond. Still. So to this day, he has never responded, and I've never gotten a response for any of these questions. They don't even want to try to answer the question. All they want to do is just attack anything with a dick. I mean, if you're a man hating lesbian and you want to create your own religion, that's fine. But don't put Kemet on it, because this is not Kemetic. This goes against Kemetic teachings. This is about as offensive to Kemetic teachings as the all-male God of the Bible is to you. Now, I don't know who created this whole black woman as God thing. I don't know whether it was a white man or a black feminist, because they both got the same agenda, so you can't really tell the difference between the two. But this is pretty basic. I mean, this is like Willie Lynch Syndrome in its most purest form. I mean, what's so ironic about it is that this is taking place amongst so-called conscious people. But if you're so-called conscious and you can't even recognize something as simple as Willie Lynch when it's like this out in the open, then what are you conscious of? This is this is supposed to be the last thing you fall for. Because you're supposed to be able to spot this right off the bat. No, this is a diversionary tactic. So when I'm sitting here watching debates on who came first between the black man and the black woman, and which one is superior, the black man or the black woman, I just sort of look at it and shake my head. I don't know why anybody would think that God would have a human gender. But if God really is a woman, I just hope she has mercy on our souls for falling for this stupid shit. Peace.